outlandish. End of story. There is no other crypto out there, so don't get it twisted. If you don't understand where you're parking your money, you're gonna pay the consequences for that, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Boom. We're obliterating everybody, literally. There is nobody else that comes close to what Hex has done. Boom. Oh, it's about to get funky. Funkier than you could have ever imagined. You know, Richard Hart is a boss. Hex is literally the best thing on the planet. It's simple mathematics. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. Man, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Yash D, everybody. My God. Hex Asians, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets me. Yo, when is it told you? Dollar told you. Everybody done told you. It's crazy. Wow. What's up, everybody? Long time no see on the macro front. What's going on, Jay? How you doing, brother?
Boom. We're live. What's up, guys?
Yo, it feels like it's been almost forever, but it hasn't been. But there's been so much stuff going on that, wow. It's like 1,000 miles an hour. So we got a lot to cover. Hope you guys are ready. Shit's fugly out there, you know. You were warned. Here we are. There's more stuff coming. So, you know, let's get into it. Yield curve. I don't even know.
I don't know, because like I start to get overwhelmed to a degree, because it's like, man, there's so many like in the trench, like in the weeds type stuff we could cover, but then it's like, okay, focus, macro. So yeah, let's start with yield curves, I think, right?
Yeah, that's, you know, I kind of titled this episode in the midst of it, so let's get into the weeds and then work our way out. Maybe that'd be probably a good way to go about it, because man, it's pandemonium out there right now. Look.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's interesting because it's slightly different than what you experienced at the start of the pandemic and the issues that happened then. We're starting to actually get real issues now.
Yes.
Whereas before it was like toilet paper. Now we're starting to see real cracks in the veneer, and they can't patch those quick enough. So it's like different but the same.
They can't patch them at all, actually. And this is what people don't understand.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get caught slipping with their pants down. I mean, we've been talking about. I've been talking about this shit for a year. Actually, I've been streaming for more than a year now. So a year and 3 months. I've been streaming, like, you know, things are gonna happen because they're letting you know they're going to happen. It's not because I can see the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are telling you.
Well, and usually everything lags, and I think that's the part. Like, that's part of the trick, right? That gets a lot of people into thinking like, oh, we're fine, dude. You guys are overreacting. Just chill, guys. Like, oh my God, so drama. Chill. It's like, no, dude. Nah. Like, just because you ain't gonna see this for a year doesn't mean that it's not real. It's not gonna happen. Right. You gotta have the attention span to be able to see that far out, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been doing this stuff, man, since I was a kid, and it's not been by choice. You just see these things. If you're paying attention, you just see this stuff. You can't even help it. You know, it's not that anybody wants to see this. Is that you hear, you see, and your brain just connects dots. That's it. And here we are, Bitcoin, at a very unique point in time. And I don't like to share my alpha that often, but man, I'm going to give this one away. Good luck to Bitcoin holders because you are not looking too hot. Period.
Okay, is that it, or are you going to give details?
Well, we got the RSI tapping on the 0 line, right? And odds are you're going to get one of these white readings tomorrow. Why do I say that? Well, let's look at the RSI. Barely above mid-band, and it's rolling over because you had a weak close today or
This
last
is weekly
week.
chart. Yeah.
This is weekly.
Yeah,
So
that's a great point.
last week and then this week you ran into a liquidity headline, an exit liquidity headline, whereby they announced that magically, I guess I didn't know for the past 2 months, but they announced that what's his name had accumulated X amount of Bitcoin.
Sailor.
People, yeah, Michael Saylor. People had assumed it was for today, but no, it was actually for the past 2 months. And the headline hit at 8:20, and I sent out a tweet. I even sent out a tweet this afternoon saying, "Hey, this is how headlines work. Either learn to learn or don't, and stay getting
Yeah, it's already happened long time ago.
long time ago."
So when the headline hits, they think, oh, from right now he's buying. No, dude, already bought, done.
Here you go. Suck it in, like always. Exit liquidity, folks. This is what it looks like in real time. So,
and also too, like let's
yeah.
point out the obvious, but Bitcoin is still too closely correlated to the stock market. It behaves way too closely to what the rest of equities and risk-based assets are doing. So it's not this freedom vehicle that all the Bitcoiners like to pretend it is. Now, it kind of is, but on the chart, it's not. So that's what I'll say. Like in your wallet, it is, but on the chart, it's not.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Right.
So it's still too close. It's still too closely behaving like anything else.
That's a funny way of putting it, though.
It is, isn't it?
Like in your wallet, sure, but only because that's in your head, but not on the chart. Because it's true, right? It's really true. You're not really getting anything from that.
Yeah,
it's
man.
basically
Like,
the same thing.
And what's crazy is that, again, like just rewind for a second, take a step back. We had the perfect storm of narratives growing up over the last 2 years. We had a fucking pandemic. We've got a war. We've got, like, you name it. We got governments using it as a currency, being recognized worldwide. The BIS is talking about it. The IMF is talking about it. Like, when is this magical fairy ride or person or entity going to swoop in and just charge your shit up to $100,000? Like, when does that happen? Right? When?
Yeah, good question.
So yeah, that's what you got to look at.
Most people don't have the answer, right? And I think that's what people got to realize. Most people do not have the answer, and that's why people get caught slipping, because they keep assuming that the answer is going to be given to them, or I don't know, some magical something. And you know,
what do you got here? You got both of them paired together, right? This S&P and
yeah, this is S&P versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in red. Or I'm sorry, S&P 500 is in red. And let's see, we are looking at, just to be sure. Yeah, just want to make sure I'm looking at the right one.
Yeah.
Or at the same one. Okay.
I mean, guys, take a look. Like, pretty closely correlated, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so here's a rolling correlation. Let's see what the setting is. What? Damn, you can't pull it up. Oh, it's probably, where is it? Let me see just what the rolling period is. 20. Let's go with 34 just to give ourselves a little longer term view. There you go. So this is 34 rolling 34-day moving average for the correlation, right? So periods of decorrelation or non-correlation happen apparently when the market is falling apart or about to, it looks like. Let's see. I'm just going off what I'm seeing here without looking at the data, because this is when something in China happened. This I think is when something, maybe they started raising rates in China. Something happened in China. This was definitely China. This was definitely China also. So let's take a look. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, kind of funny how that works, eh?
Interesting, no?
So what sucks is it sells off usually harder than traditional
Markets.
legacy markets do.
Yeah.
So that's when you see the greatest correlation. That makes sense. You see the greatest correlation during sell-offs. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because everybody wants to go to cash, not to
Yeah.
Bitcoin, because Bitcoin doesn't do anything for you.
True. The store of value, I guess.
I mean, it's not a store of value if people are going to sell it during times of uncertainty. Store of value is literally defined by people looking to that instrument in times of uncertainty, and that's just not what you're going to have here. You know,
I agree.
you're clearly seeing that on the chart. That's literally what you're seeing on the chart, and that's what's crazy. People will act like it's not there, but yeah, it's right there. You know, you can't ignore it. Sorry. Let's make this look a little regular. So this is why to people it looks so volatile in the stock market, or people that work in the stock market, they think Bitcoin is so volatile because this is how it looks to them versus the stock market.
Yeah.
So that's just what people like. You should know that this is what they see, even though it's incorrect. But they don't know how to look at charts. So what do you expect? But this is just one of the many relationships that exist, right? Let's take a look at what Hex looks like under this scenario. We're not going to have the same quantity of data, of course, but just for fun, let's just see.
Yeah, someone brings up a good point. I don't know if this is accurate. Gabriel says Bitcoin so far this year is 0% gain. I don't know when you're basing purchase date off of. Hex is 40%. No, I thought Hex was when did we have 50 cents?
Yeah, no, year to date, it started at like 30 cents, I think.
Yeah, that's true because smaller below dollar, you know, you've got
yeah, but that's just capital.
percentages.
That's just price appreciation. If you're holding Hex without staking it, you know, you're losing regardless. If you're holding any asset without yield, you're losing. So anybody that's holding Bitcoin and is at 0 year to date, inflation is beating them. So they're actually negative. That's their real rate of return. That's how people look at markets. So you got to take into account every component that's actually affecting your total return, not just capital appreciation, rate of return. Nice try though. Feel you, homie. But get your yield up. You know what I'm saying? Then maybe we can talk. Because that's how it works. Nobody cares about price appreciation when the price is going down. So you got to have something to supplant that. And we call that, we call that yield over here. So we don't care that it's 0 or minus 40 because if you're staked the right way, you're getting that 40% right back every day. How about that? That's why Hex is better than everything else. You know,
well, I mean, I guess it'd be pretty cool if Bitcoin could do some shit like that. But I mean, what's the max you get in like BlockFi or
they
like
can't
6%
because they won't change the code. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They would have to change the code in order for that to work. 21 million Bitcoin is not going to work in this capacity. You know, and maybe if they would have started in a way such that the mining would have never gotten industrial.
Yeah. That could have been a way in for sure.
It could have been a way in, you know, for the
Yeah.
average Joe. But once it went industrial, that was it. There's no going back at that point. And that's the actual problem.
So how can people get yield, right? Because you start to think, well, how could Bitcoin offer yield and how could people get it? The only way they can get it is off exchanges. And they're getting that money off of liquidating you. So it's like, are you really winning? Or I don't know, not really. So like that's the only reason why these places can offer you the yield for like quote unquote staking or tying up your funds is because they're going and fractionalizing that themselves, just like a bank would do. So this can work and it can stretch the Ponzi and keep building on top of the Ponzi, but like something in that ecosystem has to have real value or be able to provide yield. And if it can't, then the system either can't build as tall or wide or just falls apart quicker, right? Or a combination of both. But it's got to have something foundational to like hold it up to build the Ponzi on top of. And if it doesn't, then you can only, break up the puzzle piece so many times before it really starts to break it.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing. I mean, That's why it was ingenious the way that they designed Hex, because it allows for the capacity for you to actually earn yield and for a price to not be impacted in such a way that you're priced out, and for a price to still leave opportunity for others, new entrants, and for yield to really stretch, right? Because
Yeah.
if you look at how the system works, like if nobody's staked, then you're getting 369% if you are staked.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy, right? And then if everybody's staked, then you're getting whatever the bottom is now, and I'm guessing that's like 5%, 6%, whatever that is, which is still pretty darn good, right? Because you're not
And
really
and
getting that.
yeah, important note is you would be like one person in this or very few people in this getting that 369%
Yeah,
without having to worry about getting rugged like you would in yield farming. Like if
right.
there's a like you tend to in yield farming, the less people in, the more yield. So everyone's like, oh my god, I just found a 40,000% yield
Yeah,
or APY farm. Yeah, but that'll last 15 minutes. The minute you
yeah.
post on Twitter, it gets
It's
bombarded
gone.
with millions, tens of millions in funding, and then that yield is
Bots
gone.
pick that shit up.
Yeah, and you run the risk of not only permanent loss, but also too
Right,
like slippage in the pool and being able to get your money out.
right.
So it's like taking all the best concepts before DeFi was even around and doing it
Applying them. Yeah,
and applying them before DeFi was even a thing. Which who knows? DeFi could have been sparked out of seeing this working and seeing this out there and being like, oh, let's take this in concept, but allow people to come in and out of it as frequently as they want.
right.
Might have. Who knows?
Might have. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to think about. It's always interesting to me to think about alternate realities or what could have been,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Because it's not what it was, or it's not what it is, shall I say?
And I feel
So,
like when you have an idea, I feel like there's hundreds of thousands of people around the planet having the same idea at the same time,
right.
or
It
something
seems to be.
something like that.
It seems to be because a lot of us found hex in similar ways, or like hex to me has been one of those things where a lot of people seem to have similar paths to it,
Mhm.
right? Like they found it because they were looking for it, but they weren't looking for it, but it found them in a way. Like it's the weirdest thing, It's not like you were like if unless you were like following Richard Hart, it found you type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
That's how I feel. Like as Hex found me, I didn't find it because I sure as
Yeah,
I, even though I was looking for it, I wasn't looking for it, And a
yeah,
lot of people have a similar story in that sense. So I agree that similar thoughts, right?
hmm
Because we're
hmm
on a similar wave to a certain extent.
yeah,
So that makes
absolutely.
sense. Yeah, so that makes sense because that's how it works. I mean, it's weird but true.
hmm Yeah, and I think like price action and stuff, people just get bored. So like all that really matters is the day that you go to end your stake and what the price is then.
Yeah,
And I would even argue that like the yield makes that a whole lot better. So even if the price is down versus when you open the stake or whatever what it was last week, you still have the yield appreciation as well.
right.
Because it would suck. Like let's be honest, it would suck if there was like you're tying up this money and the yield doesn't outweigh.
Capital appreciation.
Yeah, exactly.
And Hex is good at that. Very
Yeah,
good.
dude. So
Yeah.
and again, I think people like I think it's still hard to wrap your head around that for a lot of people. So that's why you still kind of like and maybe it's like old belief patterns like slipping up and being like falling into the old way of thinking, right? Because it is
Mhm.
very new. This like it's like we often say it's as simple as complex as you want to make it.
Yeah, and it's so simple. It's not even funny. I mean, people act like Bitcoin hasn't been around for over a decade. I find it laughable.
Yeah.
I really find it laughable. Like, what are you talking about? 4 or 5 years? Like, man, do you not know Bitcoin's been around for 13 years? Are you not aware of that? Like,
Yeah.
do you not know that?
A
Like,
decade now.
you might want to like look that up. Might help you in your decision making process.
hmm
Something to think about. Now, when you look at the return pattern for Hex, it has the most interesting return pattern of all cryptos because most cryptos don't have anything. They just fucking go up and then they come back down. That's it. That's not a pattern. That's a pump and dump. You know what I'm saying? So this is the difference between Hex and everything else. Over time, Hex is gonna have to rotate around this because no matter how you slice this cookie, and this cookie being Hex, it always lends itself to log based two returns. And I've gone over this 100 times. Maybe I'll go over it again at some point during the stream, but that's not the objective here. Just understand that if you think this is only a 3-year thing or 4 or 5-year thing, then you're just doing it wrong. That's like the point.
And the
So,
real value is the
yeah.
T-share.
Yeah, the real value is a T-share. I mean, come on.
That's it. That's it.
The market cap for the shares alone is 35 billion. Okay, this is just the shares. All right. When you sit here and you look at the price or the divergence between a T-share and what's you have in 10,000 hex, well, that's quite something, right? That's quite something. Where does that come from? That comes from people interacting with the network. Literally, it comes from people interacting with the hex staking mechanism. If people weren't staking and unstaking, then this line would still be the same as it was outside of the big payday. Thank you for the super chat, brother.
I'm sitting there waiting. I'm sitting there waiting for this.
Hell, you didn't even have to super chat that. I would have highlighted that anyway.
I don't even want to start talking about this.
Yeah. I mean,
no comment. No comment. But I'm just saying, he probably should.
I'd probably go with 300 though.
He probably should.
Yeah, somebody else agreed.
I mean, come on, dude.
Oh my God. We need a hell of a wig though. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you're ridiculous. So, all right. How does the T-share rate ratchet up that we have this divergence? Well, every time a stake ends with respect to the ROI that somebody's extracting from the system. So if that ROI is slightly bigger than that next person's ROI, the system's T-share rate is going to ratchet up. So that's a sign of what the system has done already. In essence, materialized gain or realized gain is what you're seeing. So this is what people are actually extracting in terms of yield. So this is how much more powerful yield is than the actual capital appreciation of HEX itself. We're talking about a 200 point dip. What is this? 1,500, 100% difference. Shit. 100% difference. 1551 to 3329.
And that's the difference. Like you can't get that anywhere else.
You cannot.
There's nothing else that exists that can get this.
No. And this is because, now why is it 100%? Because we're talking about the dollar cost of a T-share. This is important. The dollar cost of a T-share is what we're talking about here. Because you're earning HEX every day, right? Now, how does that look? Let's see. This is what it looks like. This is the T-share payout sum chart. Essentially, every daily payout in some form to a point in time. So we're stacking it every single day, and this is where we're at. So if you've been staked since day one, this is where you're at now with one T-share. You multiply that by the number of T-shares, that's value that's coming to you. And for the people that have exited along the way, that's realized gain.
That's real money. So let's take a step back. Breathe this in for a second. This inflation that you are the sole beneficiary of, is growing faster than the inflation of the money printers and all the bullshit you see going around you. There's not a single other asset that you could be doing this with right now on the fucking planet. Not a single one, unless you discover some rare earth mineral
that everybody wants.
Like, you guys gotta understand this shit. Like, breathe this in. Sit with this for a second. Yeah. Look at how much this is growing in your fucking favor every single day. Why is there even anyone fucking having anything bad to say about this? It just proves that there's a lack of education and understanding still. Because for you to say that, for you to say, oh my God, what the fuck, price this, price that, blah, 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 proves you fundamentally don't even understand what the fuck you're holding, which is at the core of what we talk about on this show every single fucking week. Like, understand what you're holding, guys.
Yeah, I mean, how the hell can you complain when all you're doing is stacking dough? I don't understand that.
Like real dough. Like the shit I thought you wanted. Like cash. The fiat shit that you want. That you claim is the best.
In outsized form.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like retarded.
Like, am I missing something? Am I not looking at the right chart? The fuck?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, what are we complaining about, dude?
Like, yo,
I got nothing. That's all I got.
I mean, look at that fucking return. This is 6 figures if you've been staked. This is just staking. Okay. Now, this is called beating the fuck out of inflation.
Yeah, it is. And you've seen that. You've seen that up until this point. Like, this was true. This is true today, and it was true last week and last month. And all those end stakes that you saw where a guy put in $1,000 and it turned out to be, 2, 3 more zeros on top of it by the time the stake was done. And it'll be true 15 years from now when people are pulling out millions, billions of dollars out of this fucking thing. And they only put in thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or whatever, right? At that point, it'll also still be true. Mm-hmm. That's how the system was programmed to be.
Yeah, literally.
You put in a little early and you stake it for a long time and you get a fuckload. But if you put in a lot and you stake it early and you stake it long, then you get a really, really big amount.
Yeah, I mean, people don't really realize that that's literally what it was designed to do. Because what are the odds of it ever being at full capacity? Slim to none.
Yeah, we could go out and we could make the best fucking marketing campaigns, bro. We could be on billboards. The president could be talking about us. It wouldn't matter.
Wouldn't matter.
Not like there's still going to be the same people who wouldn't get in it before, won't get in it now.
Yep.
Won't get in it then.
Just because of Richard Hart or whatever reason they
or whatever
can
reason.
up.
Yeah,
whatever reason they can drum up. Yeah.
Yep. Whatever they can use as an excuse to block them from doing it, they will do it.
They
and then
will
later blame those same people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, humans are funny,
shit,
bro.
dude.
Literally.
It's because they're fucking Democrats. No, it's Republicans.
It's always
fucking
somebody
these guys.
else's fault, man. I used to be that guy, bro. So I fucking know.
100%. Me too.
I used to be that guy. This is why we can talk shit.
Exactly.
This is
because I'm just making fun of my previous self.
Correct.
That's it.
Literally.
That's it. And if you fall into that category now, you know what? I feel for you. I understand.
Yeah, it's rough.
Get out of it though.
Yeah, literally. Hurry, run fast.
Exactly.
So this chart we got Hex every day in price. Payout per t-shirt average for every single day. Payout per t-shirt for the past 28 days and 55 days in magenta or in orange and magenta respectively. Okay, so they're both above 6 for now because they were above 6 for so long, but they're probably going to collapse to a little bit below 6, which is going to be right here shortly, probably within the next week or two, because it's been depressed for a little while, and by depressed I mean slightly below 6. But again, we're talking about $6 or excuse me, 6 hex per t-shirt every day. I mean, I don't know if you realize what this chart is showing you, but this is how much hex used to cost. Mm-hmm. And you weren't even getting 6 hex back then.
Yeah, 50. So, what was it, like 51 cents or something?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe half a cent is what you was getting back then in terms of a total dollar payout. Let me see if I got this chart out here, and it's not in the alpha chart. So, see if I did y'all the favor and left that shit out here. Doesn't look like I did. Oh well.
It don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But you get the point.
It don't matter.
You get the point.
Yeah.
I mean, get in line, man, because you don't want to have to get in line later on.
Well, it's just going to be harder. It's going to be more expensive. It's going to be more painful. So you think it's hard to put 10 grand, 5 grand, 100 grand into this shit now. How's it going to feel when you got to put tens of millions just to get what you could get right now?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you do that to yourself?
Literally,
if you're going to take the risk, take the risk. The risk to reward equation only gets worse over time.
Yo, Ethereum used to be what? $7 in 2016, December 2016. Now it's $3,400.
Yeah. That's gross.
We're talking about Hex.
That's fucking painful, dude.
We're talking about a yield-bearing instrument, man.
That provides no yield.
If people don't know what the most liquid market is in the world, let me tell you, and Jay, let me know if I'm wrong. The most liquid market in the world is the U.S. Treasury market.
Yeah.
Now, why 100%. Is that? That's because it's the best reserve asset in the known existence. That's literally the only reason why. Literally. I can see a future, and Jay, hear me out because this shit is going to sound crazy, where you got 1 million bid offer each side, bid and offered each side. I can see it because Hex is that fucking good. And if not Hex, then Hedron.
I know. I mean, at some point, it seems inevitable, doesn't it?
Yeah, because of what we know about the financial markets, I just don't see how it can't happen.
Yeah.
Like treasuries are risky as hell. That's the reality. They're not riskless, they're risky. And I think, well, if you're just a crypto person, you're not going to know that, but that's a fact. I mean, let's look at why, because this is why I went to this anyway, but we needed to tee it up. So
Oh
let's
yeah.
just look at the yields outright. Okay, just outright.
And I would just say, like, just to wrap up on what we just said, is like,
Mm,
outside of some sort of weird fucking quantum event, this thing just keeps running. There is no choice but for that, that crossover to occur. There would be no choice at some point because they're going
right.
to keep throwing shit at the wall.
Hmm.
Every time they reinvent the Ponzi, understand it lasts less and less every time they reinvent it.
Yep, has to by
If you,
default.
yeah, if you're paying attention. So the CBDC that they're about to roll out worldwide is going to last less time, and they'll have to fix it more times, more patches, like a fucking Microsoft, man. They're going to have to fix it more times because it's going to fail that much faster.
Thanks for the super chat,
Because
please,
what are they going to stack? What are they going to stack the third promise on? Because right now we're a promise of a promise, right?
Yeah.
I love that. You talked about that with the Mad Energy dude.
Yeah.
Promise of a promise, right? We were gold backed, then we're oil backed, then we're debt backed. Now we're just Treasury backed on top of debt. So what's the next promise that we
Right.
stack on top? So again, we talk about Ponzi's a lot, right? Because a good
Right.
Ponzi needs a good foundation.
It does. It does.
It really does. So yeah, like what are they going to stack the next promise? The CBDC promise, what is it going to be stacked on top of?
I don't know, man, because this is what people don't
That's
get.
the question.
How are you going to get people to buy all these CBDCs? They're going to have to enforce it somehow. And for
Right.
that, they're going to have to get violent.
Rug pull the fiats.
They're
They're
going
going
to
to have to.
they're going to have to get violent or something. They're going to have to figure something out because we're not just going to say yeah.
Yeah. Like you can't use fiat anymore. Boom.
Yeah.
That have to be what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, my point is that on that timeline, tell me, as long as Hex keeps running, how the fuck it doesn't become the go-to worldwide? Why wouldn't it? Translate into every language. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, because I got to tell you, I have a lot of high level conversations because I'm in finance for that fucking reason because I understand it. So when I'm just explaining this to people in just plain financial language, they immediately understand. It's not like I have to break it down. Like I just immediately analogize one term for another. Staking is this, but you have capital appreciation, but you earn yield as well. They're like, what? What? Because we're talking about double digits here. Like that doesn't exist anywhere. Like the kind of risk you have to take, you don't want to take because that will probably involve physical fucking risk. You know what I'm saying? Not even just financial.
Yeah, 100%. And like, so I think what Zach is kind of asking in that question is like, so where does the upper bound exist on this, and where does it start to break
Yeah, for
on
Hex.
the upper bound? Honestly, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to fucking watch. I'll say that.
Yeah,
Who
because
knows?
when you look at how Hex works, basically every time, let's go to this chart where. So every time I had this other chart, I wish I would have put it in here. I gotta put it in here. Every time the t-shirt rate increases is essentially because there's a big ROI in the system. Simple as that. The system is recalibrating itself so that that person that got that ROI cannot reclaim that level of ROI, which would be greater than the next person. And that's all. Because the system cannot predetermine what capital appreciation is going to do, but it can determine what the yield is going to do. And that's what this is about. So this is how the yield is quote unquote, remains in check, right? But at the same time, what's happening is that we're seeing basically a little Bitcoin happening every time, right? This is like a little mini inflation every time somebody ends a stake and they mint those coins, because you end up seeing the amount of coins coming out into the system, right? And this is what you end up seeing over time. The yellow line is the coins that are actually minted, right? And this was our annual inflation for year one. I'll be preparing actual year two chart soon, because it's been about 6 months, so we should have a nice solid amount of data for that by now. It's almost at 6 months, about a couple of weeks, but that's good enough. Um, but if you see this gray line is essentially letting us know how much inflation did not get minted. So what you end up seeing here is a deferment, right? Delaying of gratification in real time, because this yellow line is letting us know what people are opting to do in real time. So as time progresses, this inflation keeps getting minted, right? But this is over a year already. We're talking about 800 or excuse me, 500 something days already at this point, right? So this is clearly more than 1 year. So we are still minting coins, but we've yet to reach that 1 year inflation mark over 500-day period. I mean, I'm interested in seeing what this is going to look like when we actually hit 2 years. Are we going to actually be at 3.69%? Because imagine if we're not, that tells me we're going to be at least 100% higher than that previous high. It'd be impossible not to be, because we've yet to hit our annual inflation mark. After 2 years, what? Like, that's crazy. We got to
Yeah,
definitely reach that 10,000x at a minimum and treat that shit as support.
It'd be interesting to take the 2 years of data and map that out as well, wouldn't it? Like as a kind of fun little experiment to just keep mapping that out into forward thinking.
Yeah, hold on, bro. But yeah, this is kind of weird, right? When you think about that, it's like, what could the limit be? And
That's
it's
what I'm
like,
saying.
it depends, because people have to want to actually mint. And if people opt to keep dragging it on, they're not minting shit. And all that means is that the value proposition only gets stronger. That's it. That's it. So this line could, I mean, imagine if this line just keeps going sideways and it never actually goes up. Like, that would be crazy, right? Because look at how it popped up. Momentary. So this is why I'm still watching this versus the 1 year, just to see how it keeps developing. But these are the kinds of things you got to keep in mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because this is still tabulating every day, right? And I mean, here, no such thing. You're talking about 2% after 30 years. What? And this is the long end. The 20 year is even higher, but this is a problem. Why would you, borrow 20
Yeah,
years?
why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you do that?
That's 20. I mean, that's 20 points, man. I mean, damn, 20 basis points, damn near.
The yield is just so pitiful, dude. Especially with how fast everything's moving now, which is, I think, the greater point. It's like inflation's moving so quick. On the ground, inflation is moving so quick. Like, real shit is moving quicker than like this paper sit around for 20, 30 years, savings account, APYs, etc. It's like, no wonder like people are completely fed up and sick of the system. Like, the system fundamentally doesn't fucking make sense in this type of environment. Like, time is sped up, and those are the lingering pieces that are still like, they make no sense. They make no fucking sense for how fast everything else is moving right now. Why would anyone participate in that shit?
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? And it's like, it's only a matter of time before you got to realize that somebody's going to find out about this double-digit APY.
Well, also, like, what I was getting to, and my bigger point is like, at what point do governments get sick of playing this game and they want the 40%? At what point do governments like, again, like,
that's crazy.
We've clearly seen that they're sick of playing like the 1 or 2% games, so they're like, okay, fuck it, let's do Bitcoin. But what comes after that is, well, what about 40% locked in with yield? not locked in, because obviously it's based on fluctuations of how many people are staking. But you get my point. Like, at what point do they then make that next really small deduction? Because they already made the big leap. The big leap is Bitcoin. And then as soon as they make that big leap, go through all the regulation, all the bullshit, all of that, then it's a very small leap to Hex, right?
Yeah.
To me, it's a very small leap. So at what point does like the whole system dry up? Because the banks are going to have to take on so much of the buying, which they already do with QE, but they're going to have to do even more just to buy their own shit, to prop up the price of their own shit, because everyone else is going to stop buying. Literally.
Yeah.
Like that's what's going to be more interesting to watch, is just like the amount of money they're going to have to wash and recycle through themselves just for, I guess, vanity, to prove that those assets even still fucking matter. What the fuck, dude? It's going to get absolutely wild.
I mean, look at this, man. Look at this.
Yeah,
Come on. No.
We're looking at
This
30
is,
year to 20
I'm sorry, yeah, this is a 30-year to 20-year spread. So this is saying that this is outpacing this, which it is. So this is the 20-year, and this is the 30-year. So the 30-year is or the 20-year is moving faster, higher than the 30-year is moving higher. And then
which
if you,
we talked about this,
yes,
like that does not make sense.
No,
should not make sense. Should
no,
not be possible.
it should be a linear relationship.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
inverted at any point in time.
So that speaks to how broken these assets are, but also to like the shit show that we're currently in.
Right. It's a very bad situation.
Right.
Yeah.
The inverse, the inverted yield curves. The reason why that's like such a big boogeyman is because of what we just said. It should not be possible for a shorter term to pay larger than a longer term, but yet it does, and it is. So what does that mean? Well, I think the 2-year to the 10-year is the biggest indicator of a recession, and when that inverts, 10 to 12 months later, there's a recession. So what's interesting is in 2019, I was covering this shit, by the way, and we inverted the 2-year and the 10-year. We got a recession. It was only 2 months long though, and it was in 2020. So it just happened again. So that means prepare for next year, maybe even sooner, because again, the Ponzi foundation isn't strong enough right now.
Right.
And there's been too much money printing. So that usual timeline, cut that in half. Probably by the end of the year.
Yeah, probably.
Things are going to start to get real interesting. And again, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just giving the data. That's it.
Yeah,
you can take it for whatever you want.
This is just the data, bro. I mean, this is what this is what we're showing here. So, it's not on us. I don't know, man.
I think I just really want to drive home that point because we've covered yield curves quite a bit. And even when I first started looking at them, 2018, 2019, I didn't actually understand what the fuck I was looking at. I just kind of parroting like everyone else is like, oh yeah, when this does this, it means this. Right. Now I get it. Much greater,
funds is up.
At a greater depth.
Wow. Finally, 20 basis points. We made some money on that Fed funds trade. But they're still behind.
And let's talk about that. Let's talk about how far behind they are.
Oh, okay, they're behind 9 cuts.
You want to pull up that chart, that beautiful inverse head and shoulders? we pointed this out, by the way. We pointed it out at the end of one of the streams.
This is this chart here is really the dandy. Because now we're officially above all previous peaks, I'm sure.
Yeah, looks to be.
Yeah. Oh. Got him. Still. Let's see. Where are we? April 21st, 94. Okay. Well, we'll get there. 2468 is the high. Patience. We'll get there, I'm sure. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
Wow. All right. Moving on.
I mean, this speaks to the sensitivity, the vulnerability of the entire system, doesn't it, too?
Yeah, it does.
Listening? Like, come on, dude. Do you really want to have your trust, your faith, your money in something like that? That's that fucking sensitive?
So this is the spread between the 30-year, 20-year, 30-year, 10-year. And as you guys can see, that spread is at 0, basically, right? So if you zoom that out, basically the danger zone. because this is like the zero line right here. So once that line is crossed on this spread, I mean, it's true, danger mode. But the difference between now and every other point in time is that the monetary system was not on its knees. It was just an occurrence at those point in times. This is something unique here. So we're not sure what's gonna come on the other side of this.
Yeah, I mean, like just the very fact that we've printed so much money and QE is the way it is and has been, that means everything else is like it's up for grabs. What could happen here?
Yeah, the 35s is already the 530s is already negative, already below 2006 levels. So yeah, that's a big one. That's a pretty big spread. 10-5 year below 2006 2005 levels. So again, another big deal heading on 2000 levels and negative. 10-2s, it inverted the other day, and this is a pretty big one that everybody watches. It doesn't give us 52-year mark.
Yeah, the only thing that still looks good is the monthly, the 3-month. Excuse me. That's the only thing that looks good.
Oh, right. Because it's short term.
And it's just simply because it's so delayed.
Yeah,
as
short
well.
term. Yeah. So this is minus 7 basis points. Not yet below 2006 levels. But let's get to this chart. So this chart is like a 3-year representation, or actually 2 year now, of what the yield curve is going to do. I mean, we're already ahead of that. As far as where we were when we first talked about this, and I correlated this to Hex. Just going to do that again here.
Yeah, so you guys can see the beautiful inverse head and shoulder pattern.
Right.
Because this is like, you got this on what, weekly?
13 days. Hold on, that's not right.
So it's really obvious on, lower time frames like weekly and daily and stuff. You can really see it. So there's your left shoulder, your big head, your right shoulder, came back, retested the shoulder line perfectly. We were talking about this the last time we brought this up, because we were saying, expect it to retest the shoulder and then go back up, and it's playing out perfectly. Like this is textbook inverse head and shoulder pattern.
Yeah, so.
Which means there's plenty of more upside.
Yep, about to hit those highs, man.
So what does that mean? Well, this is telling us how far behind the rate is. So that means the rate's going to keep going up. That's what this means.
Pretty much, because we're really tied to real-time interest in yield in certain aspects of the market. But when you look at this 3-year spread, this is a future look at where things are going to be. So it's traded that way. This is why the move happened back here versus now. Right, and it's been going on for this long, since the summer, and really since 2020, because people could see the inflation coming, right, even back then. Because again, you don't just print 40% of a currency and think it's not going to be in effect. So.
Yeah, things are going to break. Things are going to get tested to bounds that they've never been tested to.
Yeah. Now let's look at this. Somebody asked me to look at the 10 versus 7, so let me look at that. Not sure what we're going to see there, but sure. Come on. Yep, negative as well. So there you go. Just another symptom of the problem, which is the currency. This is why we're here. So
negative. What is that? 11 points.
11 basis points. Yeah. I mean, we're below 2007 level.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because people presume nothing's going on right now. People are acting like everything is normal, but we're in the midst of a recession, and we never got out. I mean, okay, so we were in a depression. We never got out of any detractionary economic impact. Like everything is always deteriorating economically in America. So this whole notion of improvement. I mean, yeah, things improve while Trump were in office, but it was just
that's kind of a fallacy that we all kind of got trained on, right? It's like.
Yeah.
It's like, you could almost say, no, you could say that like since the depegging happened, maybe even back further, but okay, let's just keep it simple. Since well, the depegging of the gold standard happened. We've been in a deterioration. Like the dollar, the value has been eroded at a faster rate. And the faster that they depegged and the faster that we keep printing money, the faster your value deteriorates. So they're like the recession started then.
Yeah.
On a macro scale, the recession started the fucking minute that they deteriorated the currency by destroying its value, what it was backed by.
Yeah.
And every day, every minute since then, we've been in a recession. Now, inside of that huge macro piece, there's been all these bangs and busts and everything else, right? Really, really good times, really bad times. And there's obviously tons of money to be made in that piece. But it's like, yeah, you could argue that that's when a recession started is then. Right. Maybe even go back further when the Fed started in 1913.
Well, I say it started when they started exporting labor. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, that's actually probably a better measure because going back to the Fed in 1913, like, no, that's not true. Maybe when they removed the gold standard, but that's probably a better way to look at it is when we started exporting labor in a big way.
Yeah, I think that's a better measure because the whole economy really rests on labor here, right? I mean, if you can't spend, there is no economy.
Yeah, and people value paycheck more than savings.
Sure do.
Like 70-something%. The IMF just did a study on this. I was reading it like, what the fuck? I think it was 72% of people are okay essentially with no savings as long as they've got a job.
Damn.
Something like that. 72, 74%.
That's wild, bro. But and that's just another thing that in America people know. Like the average person doesn't have $500 sitting in their name.
Yeah, true. The savings rate is really low. You can measure this up with Fred data. The personal savings rate is
you could
at a very low rate right now.
You could. You definitely could.
So you can actually get proof of that.
Yep. No, not making that one up. Even if I wanted to, couldn't make that one.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to that.
Yeah. So this is what's going on here. So Hex is behind pace in a lot of ways with respect to where it has to go. So this is what you kind of have to look forward, because if you can see at the chart here, Hex lags. So I hope you guys are paying attention to what I'm saying here, because I can only make it but so obvious for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, buy that shit, man. Not financial advice, but do the math.
I remember when we first found this and we were looking at this. We were freaking the fuck out.
Shit is crazy, man. What? Let's see. I think I'm reading it backwards here. Yeah. This first. Yeah. Oh shit. This isn't done, bro.
No.
Oh shit.
Not at all. That's like a runaway. That's a runaway chart at this point.
Yeah, we're still in the midst of the move. That's why I can't line it up. Well. All right. Let's line this up here. 117 days from 80. That's not too bad.
It's kind of funny how your line is just about hitting the top of your measured move there too.
Yep. And if you come here, what do you have? 247 days. So this next move is going to be pretty redonkulous. Wow. Well.
Yeah.
All right. On to more macro stuff, man. This is just one piece of the big puzzle that makes Hex superior. This is just one. There's a lot of other stuff going on out there that you might not be privy to.
Someone just said in the chat, I like this statement in general. Go where you're treated best. It's Nomad Capitalist says that a lot. He's like a sovereignty guy. And like it doesn't just apply to country. It applies to your fucking money.
Yeah, I used to say that all the time. Capital flows to where it's treated best. I used to say that all the time.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It sure does. That's a fact.
And so that's still true. It's gonna be
Sure
true.
is. That's right. So what we're looking at now is price of oil. I mean, you guys all have been feeling a pinch. We might be able to see it come back down. Let's see if our Bob is looking the same. Hallelujah. It is. Typically when you get these kind of breaks in weekly charts or weekly candles like that, those gaps in a similar direction, that means the price is really going to take some strength into that move. You kind of see that here, but then you had that island top reversal within this candle right here, which is what you're seeing. When it jumped and then reversed immediately and then broke its the previous low and open. So yeah, this move is probably going to be really strong to the downside. So I don't know.
It
Maybe,
basically filled the gap,
yeah,
like
maybe.
really, really quick.
For all we know, we might hit this 2.5 cent area. So this is the price at which dealers buy their gas, basically. So this is why you're paying out the ass. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, bro. One step at a time.
Yeah, I mean, pretty cool to see. I mean, in short, more countries should want to be doing that. I mean, the Bitcoin stuff is cool, but I mean, actually backing your currency with something that has value is really cool.
I mean, if you want to keep using fiat, yeah, you kind of got to do that.
Yeah.
Not really optional, bro, because then you're just gonna run into the same issues over and over.
Yeah.
So yeah, but when you're looking at these markets, right, they're looking a specific type of way, and the price structure to me just does not scream bullish at all. And that's kind of what I want to highlight. I mean, it doesn't even matter if it's gold that we're talking about here; it just doesn't look bullish. And that's something that I think is interesting in the light of everything that we have going on. I mean, copper might be one of those things that does run away just because of what it is. But to see gold and not be in a similar position is interesting. Let's see where lumber is at. Same deal with lumber. Nat gas might be the unique situation here because it has a reason to run with everything that's going on, right? They've been forcing this into action for years, ever since Biden came in, right? I mean, when the fuck that fucker got elected? He got it off as what? Was it June?
20.
June?
Yeah.
January 2020, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, chart speaks for itself.
I mean, the Keystone shutting that down. I mean, that was kind of
Mhm.
indication that like
Yeah.
energy was going to go up, and
Yeah.
I mean, there's indicators along the way for sure.
Yep. 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 So just another piece of the puzzle, right? Nasdaq, same deal. I mean, so the Russell, same deal. Silver, same deal. Um,
It is kind of a bummer to see like metals
mhm.
once again performing so fucking poorly when
Yeah.
they should be thriving. Just like I'm bummed out that cryptos aren't thriving. They should be.
Yeah.
Cryptos should be going fucking buck wild right now, and they're not.
Yep. And it's not. And that lets you know that that Bitcoin and Ethereum have lost that battle. They have. So, and interest rates, we already know they're tanking, right? Because the price of the rate goes down as the yield goes up.
Yeah.
Um,
And
10 years, same deal.
to hit on your point, like paper gold is the means that they use to manipulate gold and
Yeah.
silver prices. They always
100%.
have.
And
They always
you
will.
see it. And you see it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Because go by physical.
Come on. Look at this,
sky high
bro.
right now.
Like, I laugh at these gold bugs now. I used to be one, man. Like, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke to not realize you're living a lie, bro. Like, when are these guys going to wake up? I don't feel sorry for them. I don't feel pity for them. Gold is a joke because you can't control it anymore. It's not decentralized anymore. It's theirs, and you can't control it. If you would read, you would know that.
So
But most
essentially,
people,
it means nothing.
it means nothing.
Yeah. It's the same as
Silver,
fiat. So why are you going through
silver
all
is
this
the
effort?
same deal. Yeah, silver's the same deal. Fiat's the same deal.
So just fucking get fiat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why are you going out all the effort and the fuckery to get metals? Why?
But this is why I fucking came back to crypto in a sense, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I started buying Bitcoin and fucking Ethereum again. And I wasn't buying anything with fucking gold and silver because I understood that, right? But it just so happened that I ended up discovering Hex. I was like, oh, word, easy, done.
Yeah.
No brainer.
Yeah,
So look,
100%.
yeah, let's look at corn. Look at that. That shit doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon, but we'll see. Because it's in range, right? It's in range of its previous top areas, so it could not go anywhere. That's corn. This is soybeans. Same deal. So we gotta watch it up here. Could be that this whole, you know, crude market is topping this food escalation issue out in terms of prices.
Hmm.
So all the pricing issues that you thought could be affecting food in your area might actually be supply issues just because the shortages, because they've been manufacturing them, well, for fucking a year already or more, because we've been talking about this for at least 6 months as far as I know, because that's how long I've been talking about it, at least.
Hmm. And that is a
So
real thing to be prepared for, is food shortages. Like, that's
yeah.
no bullshit. Like, and you can just look at the simple fact of, like, what are they saying? What is
Hmm.
the current administration saying? They're saying it's not a problem. They're still avoiding it. They're saying you're never going to have this issue. Well, they can't get gas prices under control. So clearly they will not be able to get your food prices under control. So
That's right.
just you've been warned. It's like, and again, a lot of times it's only because these things take years to play out that you start to get lulled back into comfort. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, dude, those guys were so full of shit, dude. 6 months ago they were saying this. Yeah, dude, because it takes time. But now what you've got is, like, just look at some of the factors. You've got a lot of the supply chain issues are still not solved. And you've got like this backdating of like a year of shit being shut down or fucked up or slow or whatever. And you still got rigorous testing going on and all kinds of like bottlenecks now that have been put into place for manufacturing, for production of food. Like the testing, the equipment, the fucking scans and tests and walkthroughs that now have to occur at the manufacturer level are
Yeah.
greater now than they've ever been. So does that slow down production or speed up production? It slows it down.
Sure as hell does not speed it up.
So, like, come on. So all that stacked on top of all the other delays, all the other fuckery, yes, you start to see some really big issues arise. And that's even outside of the Shanghai lockdowns in China right now, which
Yep.
those are insane in and of themselves, but they don't produce any of our food, very little. So that doesn't really matter on that aspect. But like your iPhone,
Yeah.
it matters.
Yeah, yeah. For your tech, it's gonna matter. Well, everything is gonna
Yes,
go
a
up in
lot.
price.
A
Yeah,
lot,
everything
dude.
is gonna go up
Your
in price.
car, anything microchip based is going to go up now because,
Hmm.
25 million people on lockdown. Started
Hmm.
off as 5 days. Now it's indefinite.
Hmm.
Even China state media is saying it's an indefinite lockdown.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know what
crazy,
the
man.
fuck that even means.
Shit, it means indefinite, bro.
Yeah, like what I'm saying is like, dude, okay, so we're gonna do like daily testing. Do we get back to work at some point? Are
Word,
they just like
nah.
shutting the whole fucking thing down? Like,
I
what the
think they're
fuck does
just
that
gonna.
mean?
Yo, look, they fucking said it. You're gonna own nothing, and you're gonna fucking be happy.
Yeah, 2035.
I think people
Speeding
don't
that up,
get
I
it.
guess.
I think people don't get it. And crypto goose, I'm with you, bro. Because I was an Austrian until I realized that all that shit is bullshit. Because all you
It's a
need,
great theory. It's a
yes,
great thought.
yes,
That's it. That's
that's
it,
it.
dude.
That's it. In theory, in practice, it just doesn't work. In
Yeah.
practice, you just need to do the right thing, which is
Yeah.
not have a stupid balance sheet. That's
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
all you got to do. You don't got to do shit else. And this is why crypto works. This is why
Yeah.
I like crypto as a replacement for gold, because we can design the value mechanism and nobody can fuck with it. And that's what immutability gives you. This is why Hex is superior, because
Yeah.
nobody can come and fuck with it. They got to
Yeah.
just deal with it.
And you don't have to worry about like brokers and middlemen and all the other layers of shit
Hmm.
that really just, by the time it gets to you, there's nothing left. There's no meat on the bone.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's
because
how most of this shit is
they
now.
gonna slice and dice. Yeah, we're dealing with that right now. They're gonna slice and dice the shit out that motherfucker, baby,
Yeah.
and you
I
gotta
mean,
make it work.
exactly. I mean, think about this for a second. How many times did they fuck you on the PPP and the EIDL and all the free money you were supposed to get? Remember all that free money you were supposed to get?
Yeah,
But guess what? By the time it goes through the bank and it goes through the distribution that it has to go through to then get into your physical fucking hand, that dollar is no longer worth a dollar. They
yeah,
stole all your inflation and kept it for themselves.
yep, like that, just like that.
Boom, gone.
Look, Crypto Goose got it on the nail right here. And there's other sources that we can go to reference that price that he's talking about, but that's the price of gold in real time, and that's not the price you see on the chart. You see a price of less than 2,000 per ounce, and the reason for that is because that's the price they want you to see. It ain't no other reason. Simple, as crazy as that sounds. It is that simple. That's the price they want you to see. So that's what you're gonna see. You
And
know,
they work hard
they
to
work
fucking
hard.
keep it there.
Yeah, they work very hard to keep it there.
They're willing to pay. They paid almost $1 billion in fees, so they're willing to pay quite a bit. JP
You know,
Morgan.
that's one thing I will tell you, man, and all of you actually in general. People underestimate their lack of desire to burn money when it's strategically important to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Do it
That's a
all
great
the
point.
time. Hmm.
Yeah, the extent that they're willing to go through is a lot.
Yes, that's right.
A lot. It knows no bounds.
That's why I tell people the money doesn't matter. We got it. We need motherfuckers with character. We don't need motherfuckers that don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is why I pointed out the money doesn't matter. We got that, baby. We don't need it. This is, I mean, look at this 30,000 per ounce. How do you protect your value, bro? You cannot protect your value in this world no more. This is why crypto is the replacement for gold.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
It has
I
to
mean,
be,
I say
brother.
this often. Like, imagine if crypto never came along. How fucking dog shit would everything be right
Oh
now,
my
dude?
God. What?
Fuck. What would we be
Oh,
doing right now? What
oh
would
my
you and I
God.
be doing
Bro,
right now?
I
I
don't
don't
know if
even
I'd
know.
be alive, man. Yo, 2020 was rough, bro. It was rough for everybody. I'm sorry. It was rough for everybody.
Yeah.
2020 was rough. Man, thanks for
I
the
mean,
for the
but
super chat, bro.
crypto made
Crypto
it.
saved a lot of us, man.
Yeah, it made it palatable. It made it
Yeah.
tolerable.
Yeah, man.
Ah, dude, that's
It's fucking
crazy to
crazy.
think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real life, bro. This shit saved a lot of people in 2020. I mean, imagine the people that lost their jobs. Huh? People that had nobody to talk to because they lived alone. Like the
Hmm.
psychological health effects that this had on people. This improved my life significantly from a health standpoint, mental health standpoint. You better believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. And physical health wise, I got in the best shape I've been in a long
Yeah,
time.
there you
Because I
go.
got sick as fuck before that happened. So I dropped 30, 40 pounds during
Yeah.
fucking Rona.
And here's the thing, right? Crypto Gym Rat is a great message because it's for all of us. We all make this shit worthwhile. We got guys streaming on other channels right now.
Hmm.
Everybody's always putting in work to one shape, form, or the other, whether it's watching a stream, doing a stream, something. They're doing it. We're doing it. And this is why we keep growing. There is no echo chamber. You gotta just keep putting in the work and breaking down that wall. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it works, man. This is why we keep winning because we don't care. We just do what we gotta do. You can't stop
Yeah.
us. We got good intentions and we gonna always do the right thing. That's why everybody be trying to hate on us because they can't do nothing else.
Well, look, too, like you fucking show up in the middle of the night to do stream. I show up in the middle of the night to do streams. We don't give a fuck. I don't care. I woke up at 1 a.m. this morning. I don't give a fuck.
Just getting it done.
It's fucking 7 a.m. right now. Like I've been going for the last 6 hours. Let's go. This is what I'm here to do.
That's it. This shit was last minute.
Yeah.
Because there's so much shit going on. It's like, yo, let's get to Russia so we can wrap this up and send people to other streams because there's so many streams going on right now. I want people to go check out my man Thoughts Child. He on there with official pacification with
nice.
doing them. Yeah, so I want that
Cool,
people to go check him out over there. Because so what did Russia do? Because I was on Twitter just chuckling the whole time. It's crazy. What is this motherfucker? Hold on. You stupid. Well, I can't hate on you. It's math unless you hate math.
I was just reading that too.
You stupid, yo. So Russia got kicked out of the SWIFT system, which when it happened, we did a stream. We let y'all know means nothing. We went over how Russia has all this gold, yada yada, blah blah blah. They're gonna come out just fine on the other side. And what happened? Oh, just that.
They came out just fine on the other side. In fact, the ruble is probably going to outperform the dollar.
It's the strongest currency on the motherfucking map right now.
Kind of poised to be right now.
Yeah, real talk.
So it worked out perfect for them.
Funny how that worked.
There it is.
I mean, it's comical. It's comical because it's like, how you just going to threaten a motherfucker for 50 years that you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And you don't do it. And then they just playing you this whole time. The whole time you talking that shit, they just buying gold, buying gold, buying gold. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Is it it's official pacification, the channel. That's where he's at. Let me put the link here. That's the channel right there, guys. So you guys, if you want, open that link now. Because we're about to wrap up after we talk Russia. Because this is really like this is a major thing. This is the end of the dollar dominance as we know it. And this is why we're experiencing inflation in real time.
Yeah, see, it wasn't enough for China and the issues there to really set things off. It was going to take something more. And I think Russia's kind of the perfect storm to like really push it in that direction. And everyone was talking shit like, oh, Russia's so fast. No, they weren't, dude. Like within days, they were holding meetings with, what was that? Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, fucking everywhere, dude. India.
Everybody.
They're already working out deals.
Yep.
They're already working out deals. And everyone's got to pay in rubles. So, oops. There goes like a huge partner that helped prop up your Ponzi, which was the US dollar, now gone. Like that's the only reason why the US dollar is as strong as it is because we make it strong. Everyone who transacts in the US dollar, who pays their debts in the US dollar, which is almost every foreign country,
no longer
that's what makes it work, dude.
Yeah, and that no longer is going to be the case.
That's it. That's the only reason why that works.
Mm-hmm. And it's no longer going to be the case. And just to talk about this real quick, that's just so they can actually do the SAC balances, not for the snapshot. He actually sent a follow-up tweet, so check that follow-up tweet for that.
It's kind of interesting how that the corollary, the chart came right back down and now it's kind of sitting on top of that all-time high there.
Yeah, that 2016, right?
That's acting as support now, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because this is when things first snapped back with Ukraine in 2014.
Let's see if it stays there and kind of bounces around or breaks below.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if it breaks below this level and it kind of chucks around in here for a while and breaks even further low. If it breaks that 70 level, that's going to be major. Mm-hmm. Major for Russia, for Russia's economy. It's going to be fucking major.
Well, I think it's going to be good, but let's not skirt around the fact that this whole thing has been fucked for Russia in terms of an economic, like people on the ground. And the people on the ground will always be the greatest
consumers.
They bear the greatest suffering.
Well, yeah, because they're the consumers, bro.
Yeah, dude. It's the same shit you're dealing with in America right now. Like, let's stop pretending. Like, you ain't getting fucked right now. In every which way. Eggs, chicken, bread, gas.
Everything. Everywhere. Everybody's getting screwed everywhere, bro. Right now, worldwide, you paying more for everything everywhere.
So, yeah, like this, what you're seeing in a chart, like this is so much pain and suffering in this chart. Yep. And there will be more of it until it levels itself out. But, like, in the long term, like Russia probably should have done this sooner. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They probably should have done this sooner.
Yeah. So, they probably should have done this when the chart was like here. Dead ass.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect time because everything was starting out too.
Yeah. So it's just like anything. The longer you delay losing weight, the harder it is. The longer you delay calling that person and having that conversation you've been avoiding, the harder it becomes. Same shit here, dude.
Yeah, that's so true, man. That's a great point. That is really a great point. And yeah, the stock market did crash. I'm guessing that actually is up now. What's the fucking market over there?
Well, they fucking shut it off, didn't they? Like,
I don't know. Oh yeah.
I thought they shut that shit off. Yeah,
you might be right. Yeah, I think they don't even have a market over there anymore. I don't even remember, bro. Fuck.
Well, did they Did they bring it back up?
There we go. This is it. Let's see.
Yeah, fuck. They went limit down and shut that shit off.
April. Yeah, it's open. It's open. Okay, it's down now. All right. Well, there you go. Crazy. But yeah, wow.
And so it's here's the playbook, right? In case you haven't been paying attention, use the U.S. dollar or else. Okay, we don't want to use the U.S. dollar anymore. Okay, fuck you, sanctions. Okay, we'll use the U.S. dollar.
President, replace your regime, whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna come in and install democracy. What the fuck does that even mean? It's a fallacy.
Yeah.
So then they just come in and put in a guy that they like. Mm-hmm. And that they think they can manipulate and control, and who pushes furthers the agenda of centralized banking, gets them in debt with the IMF and the BIS, and boom, we're off to the races. Then that lasts another 10, 20 years. We got a new guy come in, fucking start all over again. So this is good that they did this, and why I say that is because finally what they said was, oh, you're going to do sanctions? Fuck you. We're just going to come and do a completely different money system over here. Again, like if you're talking about a sovereign nation who they should love themselves more than anyone else. So it's in their best interest to look out for themselves as a country, as a people, right?
Yep.
So they should have done this sooner, is what I was saying. Like, that's why I said that.
Mm-hmm. And he typed the words out of my mouth. I was going to answer a question we had in the chat earlier, basically saying, why is the cryptocurrency dead? Or why is dollar dead? Sorry.
There you go.
And this is why. It used to be such that international trade happened in a blanket of dollars. That is no longer the case because of what the U.S. did strategically in poor fashion, I might add, along with the
Very poor
EU.
fashion. Yeah, for
Along
a
with the
long
EU.
time now. For
Yeah,
a long time.
along with the EU. So, they underestimated Putin's tactic, right? Because as Crypto Goose so eloquently put it, they literally just were de-dollaring their economy as much as possible
This whole time, yeah, with the
this
Silk
whole
Road
time.
being reinvigorated with
Yep.
China, that's what they were working on this whole
Hmm.
time. So there you go. Like,
Yep.
and that took years. So for the guys who are like
Yeah.
screaming that this was going to happen for like the last 7-8 years, well, now they're validated
Yep.
because they were
100%.
technically right.
Hmm.
It just takes fucking time.
I mean, it's such that now that the federal government is going to take a stance, and I mean, we know it's not the real federal government, but they're going to put out a press release acting like they are the real federal government, dictating that they don't want businesses to do trade with Russia, any entities in Russia. And what we've been seeing is that other nations have been antagonizing and attacking wealthy Russians, whether they're tied to
Fuck,
what's
I've
his
seen all
face or
this shit.
not,
Yeah,
whether he's
Putin.
tied to Putin or not. So it's kind of foul what these countries are doing. They're just using this as a tactic to raise capital because they're broke, really.
Yeah,
And I mean,
and
that's
that's fucked
because,
up because on a global scale, like, shouldn't we be behaving better towards our partners, our business partners, and people that we're looking to have alliances with?
we
We all
trade
have
with.
differences,
Yeah, I mean, it's funny
right?
because now that they put this, so now you got to pay Russian rubles, Bitcoin, and or other commodities for their oil, right? So what does that mean? Well, EU and the US got to come up with either one of those to pay.
Yeah,
And Russia ain't coming up and they ain't taking nothing else. So good luck to them because that's what's gonna have to happen because that's what the commodity owner said. And if they hold inventory, well then guess what? They own the shit. So
you
they
know
got
what's interesting. You know what's interesting to me too is like,
Mhm.
doesn't that mean that all these like UN and all these what is the other one? UNFCTA, or all these fucking conglomerates and groups that are like pro peace, trying to bring the world together. They fucking suck. Fire every one of them. Disband, disbar every single one of those organizations because
Yep.
they failed. And
Yep.
this is just another, I guess, ripple effect of that failure. We could point to many other examples over the last, I mean, even the last 10 years,
Yeah.
last 20 years. So it's just like, as a concerted effort, at what point do you admit like you failed, dude?
Yeah.
Maybe go
Pretty
back to
much.
the drawing board.
Hmm.
Infighting with elites, yeah, very well could be. I don't know. I'm not sitting at those tables, so I can't really speak to that.
I
So
mean, I would put money on that for sure.
I would too. Yeah, I'd speculate that's probably true.
Yeah. Because I mean, they got along at some point in time, right? So whatever. Who knows, man? Again, we're not at those
Yeah, and
tables.
they all got ties back to the
Yeah.
WEF, Putin, all of
Yeah, they're
them.
all
Fuck,
got
dude.
ties back, so who
We can
knows?
dig down that rabbit hole for fucking days.
Yeah. Forget about it. Forget about it. But,
Anyway, I think we're good, man. I think
yeah,
that just
man.
about wraps it up.
Yeah, that was a good stream. Yeah, so we went over a lot of stuff, guys. Stay alert, stay alive. Pay attention to what's going on out there. We'll probably start streaming a little more frequently because there's so much shit happening so often that we kind of got to.
I think with some of
So
this stuff, yeah, there's
yeah,
like
it's kind of
day
crazy
by
right
day,
now.
a lot
Yeah,
can be changing.
yeah.
Cool. Any last minute questions for us before we jet?
Oh, they asked this, and nah, I'm probably not gonna farm. Probably gonna be okay with staking unless it's that big of an incentive to farm. So we'll see.
I'm gonna wait. I'll tell you what. Like, my strategy is to wait and see how it all kind of shakes out, like the first couple of weeks. Just
Then make a
because,
solid
again,
decision.
understand what farming is. Farming is a bunch of people pulling together their money. But if you're the last one out, you get fucked.
Yep. You gotta get in
So
and get out. Yeah.
that's like a game of hot potato or musical chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, musical chairs is probably a better example. But
Yeah, musical
I don't know
chairs.
why. Why would you do that? You can't. So here's the biggest shit of it all: is you can't set alerts on that in any way. How are you supposed to set an alert so that you can come and catch it if something stupid happens?
Yeah, you can't. It's just gonna happen. And then you're gonna be like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Not worth it to me, anyway. Not worth it.
Yeah, not worth
At this point, again, see how it all rolls out. See, maybe they've got different tools and tracking pieces in there for you to be able to better monitor this. But otherwise, you're left at the screen fucking refreshing all day long just to make sure that the pool's still full and you're not going to get rugged.
Not really efficient use of your capital.
No, or time. Not at all.
Nope. So something to think about. But all right, guys. Pleasure as always, folks. Go check out official postification. My man Thought Shot over there getting interviewed.
Cool.
So go make it happen, folks. We're gonna check out. Peace.
All right, see ya.
Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. That's it. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all deep. Everybody. My God. Hex agent